But also, please stop asking questions like that because it's like weird and inappropriate. It's like, when are you gonna take your clothes off to make more money? Like, that's
a substitute teacher my senior year asked for my phone number and said he saw me online. I'm not kidding.
Welcome back to Get It Out. Now today we have a video from Chat with Bobina. Without further ado, let's get into this.
I know that our generation is very brain rotted, but the most brain rotted thing out of 2024 has got to be the Bop House. Do I even need to explain what it is? They're talking about tech workers. That's who are in this house. Onlyfans models. Like, that's the people who are in this house.
Guys, this is wild now. They'll do anything to try to sell those memberships because that's how they get paid. It's sad because a lot of times, a lot of the targets are little boys around 16, 17 years old. My son's around that age. And target them to get their mommy's credit cards to buy a membership. It's wild.
And then they have applications for this house. And they're making it like, oh, like everyone wants to join the Bop House. Like, make your video to this song if you want to join the Bop House. It's like, why are we recruiting workers on TikTok? And then you have minors doing the dance and singing applications. And literally everyone that sends an application, whether or not they get accepted, has literally just like ruined their reputation. Because like,
why don't you start an OnlyFans? You could earn millions in weeks.
I already got millions. Sorry. I'm joking, but I'm also not. But also, please stop asking questions like that because it's like weird and inappropriate. It's like, when are you gonna take your clothes off to make more money? Like, that's
a substitute teacher my senior year asked for my phone number and said he saw me online. I'm not kidding.
Children have been sexualized since the beginning of time. For example, in the 1900s, on the media side, it was done through movies, magazines, books, and music videos. But when it comes to this topic, three people come to mind: Brooke Shields, Britney Spears, and Millie Bobby Brown.
I can feel the steam inside me right through my dress.
The Christ, I didn't feel insecure. Everybody wanted me to be miserable. Everybody wanted me to be uncomfortable. Didn't you miss your childhood? Didn't you feel like taken advantage of? Did all these things. People were desperate for me to say yes. And I didn't feel it.
Children will do pretty much anything you tell them to do. And so it's the job of the parents to ensure that they're not taken advantage of and they're protected from adult content. But because everyone on set was telling her that everything is fine and it was normal, she didn't have a reason to think that there was anything that was going on that was wrong. And she didn't have a reason to feel unsafe or anything like that.
She, to a young girl, she thinks she's being wild. I'm a wild child. I had fun in my teenage years. It's not being wild. It's disgusting.
I think it's become easier for people to police mainstream media. For example, the Jenna Ortega and Martin Freeman movie, Miller's Girl, people were not having that. People were not here for that. And even though Jenna was 22, or she is 22 years old, because of their 31-year age gap, people were like, that's weird, that's creepy, we didn't want to see that, we didn't need to see that. Britney Spears is another person who was not protected by the people around her and was asked very inappropriate questions for a teenage girl. And you can even tell from the interviews that she was very uncomfortable and she didn't really want to have those conversations.
There's one subject we didn't discuss. What was that? Everyone's talking about it.
What?
Well, your breasts.
My breasts.
You seem to get furious when a talk show host comes up with this subject. Okay, in general, what do you think about breast implants? Just in general.
The fact that this man felt comfortable to ask this teenage girl this type of question on national TV is insane, disturbing, and disgusting. Why would he feel comfortable to ask her that question? I know it's a different time, but still, it's inappropriate. It doesn't matter if it was 900 years ago or whatever. It's inappropriate. It's wrong, and she's young. Yes, celebrities have a lot of influence on their supporters and their fans.
Well, actually, the fact that it was back in the days, this was in the 90s, it makes it more because now they'll do anything. So the fact that it was then makes it worse.
But he didn't have to frame the question in that way. He didn't have to go, oh, can we talk about your breasts? Why? She's 16. And I think it's really sad that they didn't have the type of parents that will protect you and keep you safe. For example, you know, people like Zendaya have like a very strong support system, have parents that are very, you know, involved and very like supportive and caring. And it's just so sad that people like Britney Spears and Brooke Shields didn't really have that. Then in comes the internet. It has become, if not practically impossible, to police the type of content that your children are taking in. And then the rise of OnlyFans and how it's being glamorized and put out to be this like cool and like liberal, like liberating thing to do as a woman if you want to make money and just live your best life, which is actually a facade and it's a lie, because adult work is adult work. It doesn't matter how glamorous it looks or whatever, it still has the same impact on you. It doesn't matter if you're a freelancer, OnlyFans, or you're with a production studio, it doesn't matter. It's all the same and you get the same results. And I talk more about the mental implications of it in this previous video that I did. I will put it on the screen somewhere and you can check it out after you're done watching this one. It's become very scary knowing that OnlyFans models are now pretty much content creators and they're found on platforms like TikTok. And on TikTok, they created something called a Bop House, which is practically a house for girls who post their bodies on the internet or just get around with anyone. And these girls are the ones that are popular and they're selling OnlyFans as this cool and like fun way to make money. I think it's really important to realize that even though Sophie Rain and the girls in the Bop House might be making content that seems very, very innocent, you know, they're dancing around in like skimpy outfits or like Spider-Man outfits, like that content is not targeted to adults like me or like 25-year-olds, 26-year-old women. No, it's targeted to men that are attracted to them and men that are going to buy their products on OnlyFans, and also the young girls that will be watching, because TikTok is made up of young and impressionable kids, which is very scary, because how then do you police that content on the internet? How then does TikTok come and say, oh, you cannot be posting content like this? Because the content itself is not like explicit, but when you dig deeper, you then realize that, yeah, there is more to this story. And it's very scary because the kids that are watching that content will run into the Bop House and be like, oh, these girls are cool. Then they will start searching up more content about these girls. And then they'll find out, oh, they're OnlyFans models. Oh, that sounds cool. I think I want to be an OnlyFans model because they're impressionable and dumb. Because they're kids. And it's okay that they're dumb, but they just have to be protected. And I think it's very wrong that these women come on the internet and act like, oh my gosh, I just make like 60K. I make like, no, 60K is nothing. It's very underwhelming. I make like 4 million in a week. Tell me which young girl is it going to be like, oh my gosh, how? Where do I sign up? When? How do I do that? And even if Sophie Rain claims to be a virgin and she doesn't really post anything explicit on her OnlyFans, hey, I've never been on OnlyFans. I don't really know how everything works out. But what I do know from what I've heard is that a lot of the girls have to either make porn or they have to post really explicit content. And if you ask yourself, yes, she dances around in like her leggings and like underwear and stuff like that, but for how long is she going to dance around? How long till her audience go like, yeah, we've seen all the moves, now we want more, yeah, like show us more, we want to see more? How long do you think that she's going to keep making the same amount of money dancing around like a little girl when she's a woman? Yeah, that's not gonna work. She's gonna have to do something, because is it Camilla? Like all the other OnlyFans girls that at least I know of, they do really explicit stuff. That's why Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips are trying to one up each other. And I think Lily Phillips was upset when Bonnie Blue did the 1,000 guys. I think Bonnie Blue is a snake. Like, why would you do that to your friend?
Yeah, she's
She was
crazy.
like hyping us up, and like there was probably going to be another documentary and everything. The point that I'm trying to make is that these girls
Bonnie Blue was wild. Sleeping with 1,000 guys. Doesn't matter if you do it in a week, a day, 3 hours. Well, if you do it in 3 hours, that's crazy. But yeah, downright wicked. And she said she felt wicked. That's because you are wicked.
Whether they accept it or not, they're going to have to strip. They're going to have to do explicit things. They're going to have to sell their bodies more than they already are at the moment for them to even come close to making the same amount of money that they're making right now. They're still fresh faced, they're still young, but with time there's a new girl that's going to come around who's going to be like cute and going to be like young, and then you're going to have to do more to compete with her. That's just how it is. That's just the game. The kids today, I mean, it's a different time, I guess. That's why they say it's a different time. They have all this technology, they have all this makeup and all this and that, and they think they're grown up and they think they're mature and they think they know better, which they don't. So it's really scary. And to be honest, how do you even begin like controlling the situation? How do you even begin policing the situation? Because you might blame the women, yeah, but then the men are also contributing because they're paying for these women to, keep making this content. So it's like it's a cycle of both people. There's always going to be someone who's going to be creepy, and there's always going to be someone who's going to do the thing that they probably shouldn't be doing. So I mean, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. I'm lost for words. I don't even know how. Maybe if the platforms themselves say, yeah, if you do adult work, you can't really post on our platforms, I think that might work. But then, like, for them to come to that point, it would be like, oh, you're discriminating, blah, 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 because we want to include everyone. We want to be inclusive. We want to appreciate everyone, which sometimes if you're appreciating everyone, you're stepping on someone else. And I think children are much more important than adult content stars. So I think, I'm lost for words. I think this is all just crazy and it's very wrong and disgusting. And I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments, because to be honest, I'm lost for words. Like, I don't even know what you can do to fix this situation. I really don't. And I would love to know what you guys think and what you think the solution might be to this. Because I don't know. I don't know. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Guys, thank you for watching the video. If you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. Be sure to subscribe. Also, click that notification bell just to be sure you get on my videos as soon as I release them. Thank y'all for watching. See you next video. Peace.
You give me ice and fire. You're giving me wings.